Hi, it's me, and I have some voice available to make a post, which I know it's been a while, but with that, there's a lot of territory to cover, and I really don't have that much tongue available, as it were, to detail all of that stuff. So my intention is to kind of gloss over the stuff that's been happening, hit the finer points. All of the wonderful people who have helped me along the way are going to get their shout outs, of course, not that they need them, but boy, do I ever have a supportive crew. So the finer points are that the adventure took a pretty serious turn. I'm not going to say that I was at death's door, but when you can't walk because you don't have the power and coordination, you're certainly in the same neighborhood. And that was happening. Like, I got a feeding tube placed on the 29th. Wait, what was it? Oh no, I'm already screwing up on the dates. Anyway, 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks into this thing, I got the feeding tube installed, and that weekend was brutal because I really didn't have the energy to get out of bed. I didn't have any nutrients. I didn't have enough fluids in me, and I felt worse than the other day when I had a blood pressure reading 80/50, and that was like a comparatively good day compared to that weekend. I never did get my blood pressure checked because it wasn't something I thought it would do anything for me. But in any case, what happened was once I started to finally get the right amount of fluids and nutrients in me, that improved. There were a couple of days where I had to go to my treatments in a wheelchair because I couldn't walk, didn't have the energy, didn't have the coordination. So anyway, we got through that okay, and then the other day, the nurse that I see, she's telling me that she recommends I try some Benadryl by fluid injection and into the stomach thing, and this has made a big difference, you see, because a lot of the phlegm and everything that was causing the problems, especially in the morning after all night of that stuff slowly draining into my system and my stomach and everything. It would make me nauseous and sick in the morning in particular. And I've said before that throwing up with the radiated throat as it is, I mean, you might as well drink a cup of jalapeno juice straight, man. I mean, it's pretty gnarly. So, but anyway, that seems to have passed, at least for now. I'll knock on wood. I got a week to go. Woohoo! So everything's going pretty good right now. Getting all the nutrients I need in me. I got my sister Donna here doing a whiz-bang job of taking care of residual business for me. Well, not just residual, the business of taking good care of her brother. She's just been spectacular. Thank you forever, Donna. And is not to downplay the great work of Hawk, and everybody's just been great. So let's see. I try to take food, water. I mean, Jell-O seems to be about the extent of it. I am going to take a shot at some chicken noodle soup today. This would be a big accomplishment, especially if it doesn't come back up, because that stuff came back up. Oh my God, was that gnarly. That was like, I don't know, a week ago. But it felt so great to eat something. Thought it was okay. But in any case, so here's where we're at. This wrapping around my chicken neck here is, you know, to indicate that you baste for 3 hours and then poke me with a fork. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, now my skin's all burnt, you know, it's radiated, and so we have to have wrapping and gauze and all that stuff, and that soothes it some. And then there's the burn inside, which I've already talked about a little bit, but I mean, it's just that's the biggest problem with this deal is that, well, plus, you know, I mean, I essentially have no immune system at the moment. You know, everything's going to need to build up from this week. We are talking about the tumor being in such good shape, well, for what we want, which is to say it's being destroyed, that we're probably going to forego the chemotherapy this coming week and just go straight on through with the radiation and assume that, well, assume they'll do their tests and everything, that it's gone. This is not to, you know, put it into remission, apparently. I mean, I guess, you know, gone, I don't know what that implies, frankly. But they're trying to get rid of this bad boy for good. And the the doctor seems to think that it's just a done deal. I mean, she had said, oh, better than 90%. Well, I mean, now you're up in the, you know, we guarantee it range. And she had to back off from that to, you know, 85 to 90. But let's not forget, before I started this thing, man, I was racing to the hospital with blood gushing out of my mouth. For one thing, doctor said that there was probably no reason to bother with it if it went any further than that. So apparently, I mean, if I'm to believe these people, we caught it just in time, and it's responding as well as anything can respond, or the tumor can respond. Yeah, I mean, it can't just like disappear, right? So anyway, I do attribute plenty of that healing to prayers and the Gerson Protocol stuff and the juices and the Ray Flight that I've got as part of the deal. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. Everything's working out as well as can be. Actually, in a lot of areas in my life, things are working out better than I could have ever imagined, and I alluded to that in one of the posts, or was that my email address? I mean, sorry, my Facebook. Which, by the way, if anybody is watching these posts and you want to be able to access my Facebook page to see, you know, sometimes I'll only have the energy to write or the throat availability to write. So feel free to Facebook friend me, Dakota Baker, Minnesota. You know, anybody that wants to write questions, I'm looking forward to answering those. I figure that I'll do a real pretty strong retrospective of the whole experience in more detail later on, but I don't know, probably with the information you're getting from me now and the monotone way I'm presenting it, this is probably not all that interesting anyhow, but you know, if somebody out there gets some kind of a benefit, listen, if you're ever going through this out there anywhere and you want to talk to somebody about what my experience was, boy, would have loved to have talked to somebody about their experience going through this. And yeah, if you're out there, you're wondering, please feel free to shoot me any questions that you want to, which of course applies to everyone everywhere. I am just full of so much joy and gratitude and love, and yeah, it's just another strong indication to me that my life is going the way it's supposed to. And I know this may strike some people as an odd thing to say, or maybe trying to be stiff upper chin or sound good, look good, but it's not the way it is. The way it is that I feel grateful for this. I feel grateful for my previous cancers. I feel grateful for my addictions. I feel grateful for you.